yogis, another day, and I am completely confused about what day it is these days. Today feels like Sunday. Yesterday might have felt like Thursday. I don't know. Oh, anyway, I hope you're staying focused and managing to maintain your practice or exercise of some sort. Today we're working on relaxing the big hip muscles, opening up our hips. We'll start quietly, centering ourselves for a few moments. And maybe change across the legs actually, because I'm not going to do a twist. And therefore, if you always sit the same way, change the cross. Release your thigh bones down, allow your chest to open, sternum is lifting. Bring your hands together, or let them rest. And again, I think I'll have my hands down. Close your eyes and be peaceful. Allow tension to go from your face. Allow thoughts to go from your head. Be completely quiet and peaceful. Then allow your eyes to softly open, and we'll start our practice opening up the hip muscles. So we're going to have our legs up the wall. You could be on height for your hips in this at first, and hopefully I've got enough. Yeah, I have. You could have this underneath your hips, a slight height or a blanket. We're going to have our legs up the wall. Otherwise, you can be flat, depending on how your back feels. Have a belt, a little, no, we won't use a belt actually. Maybe you could have used a belt, but we're not going to. Quite close in, it's hard getting close in. The easiest way is to go side on to get close in, I would suggest, but you can still get pushed away. But close in, close-ish in. Legs are going up the wall, I'm lying down. And in lying down, so even me, look at that. I should stay close in, I'm not close in myself. You can shove yourself a bit closer in. This may be enough though, a slight angle, because we're doing this. Foot on the thigh, and with your hand, if you wish, you can press your knee back. Active leg of the left leg. Excuse me. First thing in the morning. And it looks as though it's going to be a nice one. What an amazing moon last night, the supermoon. So this one is being filmed on the morning after that supermoon. Opening up the hips. And then we swap, do the other leg. Hugging the leg. That leg staying active. This thigh bone pressing back. Buttock bones even, hips pressing towards the wall, pelvis open, wide, no lifting of the back. Peaceful, peaceful face. Your eyes could be closed. We come back to the centre, put your feet on the wall and give yourself a slight lifting action. Depending on your body, the abdominal area is staying long and flat when I come up and when I come down. I'm not using my stomach, I don't even think I could do it actually, to push up. I'm not arching, doing this action, so I'm not feeling really loaded here. I'm tucking, and then I don't feel so heavy, so I'm pushing up as far as you feel you can, not letting my head move. Hips are going towards my heels, and carefully bringing my hips back down again, and do the one we did before. And this can be a slightly more active stretch, by sliding that heel down the wall. So sliding the heel down the wall. Quiet, quiet face. Buttock bones pressing down. Enjoying this stretch. So this foot is active and this foot is active. And then that leg goes up the wall again. Other side. Hugging the leg. Again, going for a bit more stretch for me, or you, or here. So I feel this big outer hip muscle is having more of a challenge now. This is an active foot, that's an active leg. Pelvis is open. I'm pushing my buttock bones down. Lots of length on the abdomen. Quiet face. Feeling this stretch. Foot goes on the wall and lift my hips up again. Arms could go this way for a change, or this is nice too. This is pressing my shoulder blades in. I am not letting my head move. I know you might have turned your head to look at the video, sorry, but you try not to move your head. So arms are going straight up to the ceiling, elbows compressed down, fingers stretching up, staying. Arms could extend towards the wall. Extend your hips back down again. Legs are against the wall, arms out to the side. And then let this leg come out to the side. So this heel is pressing firmly, keeping that leg straight. This leg, try to have it straight. The further out it goes, the more you will feel you want to displace the weight. And you've got to try not to. So I'm trying not to. I see how far can I let this leg stretch. I think on the other side, it's probably going to hit that wall, unfortunately. I'm trying to keep that leg very strong. My foot's going down. And here, about here, I know I'm going to lose control. I could bring my leg down to the floor, but I know that I'm going to become too light on this buttock bone of my left leg. So I'm only going as far as I feel I'm in control. Oops. And then that leg comes up. And I feel I've stretched the groin, and I was working my outer hip, and now I'm stretching the groin area and the inner thigh, and this leg's going out. Again with control. Aha! I'm going to touch the wall in a minute. I'm trying not to. So I go as far as not touching that wall. And actually don't go too quickly. I probably did do too quickly. Pressing the buttock bone down, the right leg. Letting this leg go out to the side. Quiet face. Pulling up your kneecaps. So this side for me, and this leg can be resting on the wall as well. If you find it's too strong, this side for me feels stronger, definitely feels stronger. Notice how it goes with your body. Come back to the centre. Bend the knees in. Come into a twist. So feet towards your wall. You could walk them. If you've got a bigger wall, you could walk them. Out to the side. It's a nice twist. Feeling the stretch across the lower back, the buttock muscle area, down towards the backs of your knees. Press into your opposite arm. Try to have your feet in alignment. Come up and roll to the other side. So I could be doing this walking action, the feet, but I'm rolling. Rolling the feet across. Feels good on the waist, the chest, the hips, the abdomen. We're walking ourselves back. And from there, we're going to come into a cat stretch and a dog stretch before we do a little bit of hip strengthening on our sides. I'll move the bolster. We should probably see that. So I've got two mats here in case I need to move a little bit more into vision. But what we're doing is cat pose. With your one foot going back towards the wall, and your hands are slightly stretching forwards. Not a lot. I suppose mine are more vertical, but they could go slightly forwards if you wish. Okay. This leg is not coming high up. You could experiment with that leg going high up, and that is a nice stretch for the back of the leg, but it's strong on this knee. So this would not be what we'd be doing in Iyengar yoga practice. It's very strong here. We're trying a little bit more to be aligned and long. and not over dipping. But the shoulder blades, it's quite hard in cat pose to make them press down flatly because you're pushing down on your arms. So I'm looking more for this area, not dipping. So I'm trying to pull up as much as I can as I press that heel back. Toes are going down. You can bring in arm stretches if you've got space, arms going out to the side or forwards. But feeling this, mostly thinking about the length here and the length on the front of your pelvis, this area being parallel. Then that leg comes down, this leg goes back, and checking, not going too high, coming lower, lower. It's really heel in line with buttock bone. It helps you get the pelvic work and the lower back work. And I'm slightly dipping, but it's really hard in this one not to push your shoulders up. So try to feel your tummy's going up and your shoulder blades are staying flat. You're not overdoing this dipping action, drawing up. So I am trying to be a little flat here. Pushing that foot into the wall, come down. Then from there, you could do that again, or you can go into your dog pose as a stretch. So we're coming close, walking yourselves back to the wall, and you can have your heel against the skirting board, and you walk one foot up the wall, being mindful of anything you've got on your walls, and stretch, press into your hands. You can go closer if you wish to the wall, walking yourself in closer, otherwise staying a little bit away from here in an Ardha Mukha Svanasana. And this leg comes down, and that leg goes up, stretching up, not letting my hips go swint, feeling a good stretch. And this is warming us up for something we're going to do lying down. Pressing my shoulder blades in, leg comes down, resting down, sorry, here, come from somewhere into my mouth. Lying on our sides, hip strengthening now. You can pad your hip if you wish on the blanket. So we're lying with our feet pressing into the wall. I don't know, hit something there. Checking what we're going to do next. Feet pressing into the wall. Lying on one side or the other. I'm lying on my right side. And we'll do 12 of one leg coming up and down. Now, I would suggest you're better to lie flat here if you can, but obviously if you're trying to see a screen you may be up on your elbow. If you are up on your elbow, check that your shoulders are in line with your hips. When you're up on your elbow, it's stronger here when you lift that leg up. When you're lower down, it isn't as strong. So if you can balance like this, do. This is a good stretch for the armpit shoulder blade, pushing the feet back towards the wall, one leg comes up and down. So we'll do 12. And I'm trying to bring it straight up and straight down. Breath would be in breath, out breath. In breath, out breath. When you've done 12 with one leg, can you do 12 with two legs? Out breath. And this is when you might think, oh, I wish I had put a blanket underneath my hip. Trying to keep alignment, trying to keep the legs together. 1, 5. In breath, 9, 10, 11. Obviously if 12 is too many, you do less, but you can do 12, do 12. Roll onto your tummy and rest yourself down before you do the other side. So when you rest down, it broadens out the lower back, broadens out the chest area. Then you go on your other side, same thing. Feet pushing back towards the wall gives you a little bit of stability and get that contact again. A long straight line. Not letting the hips roll out. 1. And do your 12. the bottom leg's coming up. Hip strengthening, pushing away with those feet. Breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out. 7, I think. 8, 9, 10, 11. Can be less, it can be more. We're working on us as individuals. 12. Roll your heels out and they're at the headrest. Abdomen is now soft, it's sinking down. It's a soft abdomen, and that is good after that one, which was strong. And we will do the full pose in a moment. But first of all, we're going to do a stretching up, our heels up the wall, in dog pose again. So we're going to be high up on our heels, and we're going to come down and scoop into our cat and go back into our dog. So alternating with that. Keeping your head quiet and releasing down. Staying at some point in your dog or in your cat's. Not a long stay because of we're focusing on our hip work, but staying for a little time, gathering those outer legs, high stretch on the hips, have a rest down, toes together, knees coming close, arms going back, and then we're coming up and we're going to use our belt and a brick. We are opening up our hips. We're going to use a couple of bricks, a few books, a bit of height here for our heels, for our leg stretch. Before we do Anastasana side stretch, so this is a little bit more warming up for it. Heels are on height. I'm not catching my Achilles tendon, so I suppose I'm just really on this bit here rather than on here, trying to be. But my feet are supported, they're not going to fall off. So see where it works best for you. So I'm saying don't have your calf muscle on the brick, because usually that feels uncomfy. I've got my heel. And the bricks could be that way. If you haven't got loads of space, that way is fine. Maybe that's better. Okay, maybe it is actually, because it means you can't get your calf muscle in there. So I've got whatever I've got is that way. And belt is ready. That one foot is lifting, is being supported. This leg is drawing towards me. Well, I'm just checking that we'll have room. Amazing. This leg is in. Belt around my foot. Pressing that leg down, stretching this leg towards me. This belt's got a loop on it from, a shoulder work probably. We're going to make it into a bigger loop. And have my arms a wee bit more relaxed here. And we'll draw our leg forwards. Gathering the outer leg in. Keeping the abdomen down. Allowing the leg to draw towards us. And this is our warm up for Anastasana. And we'll do the forward action of the legs first, and then we'll do the taking the leg out to the side. Abdomen peaceful. Doing regular hamstring stretches is a great idea. It stretches the sciatic nerve, your hip, hamstring, calf muscle. Keep doing them. Quiet eyes. And then let that leg go down. Bend the other leg up, wrap around your foot, stretch. Start at a distance that works for you, could be here. Bottom leg, don't let it roll out. Regulars will know they'll hear me saying that, don't let the bottom leg roll out. Keep the outer leg gathered in. I'm going for a relaxed feeling in my arms. This actually twists around my wrists. That's quite nice if you don't want to use your hands too much. So put it, as long as you don't stop the circulation. I am holding with my hands, but something about that feels quite nice. So check that if you wish. And then we're trying to, you try to find a quiet place from which you can release. And here, in my quiet place at the moment of the stretch, eyes closed. They don't have to be, but I quite like closing my eyes. It helps me quiet my head. And then I can feel in this leg that I could stretch it more now. I'm pulling on the belt and stretch it a bit more. And then I'm going to be quiet again. And the leg is there, stretching to the ceiling. One is pressing down. And I feel a bit more stretch. Hamstring stretches, very varied for all of us. Do take longer on these hamstring stretches if you wish. Leg is going down. We're not, because I'm doing more opening of the hips. And the second part, this is also in your hamstring stretching, Supta Pandhusthasana, lying down leg stretch. We'll bring our leg out to the side, which is more related to Anusthasana, which we're going to do in a moment or two. So leg comes towards us, and we then bring us up. So our leg comes towards us, but this leg presses down. That's outer hip staying away as much as you can, and then you let this leg go out to the side. Trying to push your outer foot and your inner foot. You could hold towards your big toe. Watch you don't fall over. If your we do have our elbow pressing down sometimes. It's just good to work without your elbow pressing down. Makes you work your leg more and you feel the stretch more. If you're not using your arm to support your leg. Bottom leg, try not to let it roll out. It's hard when it goes out to the side. Hard. Let that stretch come. And then bring your leg up. You can stay longer. We're doing it for our Anusthasana warm up. You're not going to stay ages in it. So our arm is out to the side and then it's going here. Wall is in the way. So for me, I'm going to slightly move myself here towards the side of that brick. And I'm not going to let my elbow come down because I know I can let my elbow come down. And I've got long arms so I can hold on to my toe. But this leg, really pressing it down. And I know it's wanting to roll, definitely wanting to roll. Trying to be quiet on this side with that open pelvis action. Bottom leg pressing down, quiet face. Breathing normally. This leg comes up, bring that leg down, hug your knees in towards you. And we're going to turn on our side and go straight into Anusthasana. From that, so our leg was going out to the side, and we've had a hamstring stretch. We're now doing the same in Anusthasana. I will go on my right side first. Supporting your outer right hip if you wish. Have a belt near. Going to lie on our sides for Anusthasana. Great pose. Great asana. Yoga asana. Feet are pressing in towards the wall. Outer hips are gripping in. Trying to get your inner feet together. So I'm up on my elbow here at the moment. But for it, I would say that it's better to be lower down as well and keep the alignment of your body. So I'm going to rest on my elbow, pressing my feet in. The balance in this is hard. And if you find you're falling over, have got this wall behind me here. I could be against that wall. And it is very nice doing this against a wall. And when we get back into our regular classes, we'll do this 1 week against the wall. This knee is like your tree pose, so that knee's going up towards the ceiling, as though I was doing tree. And it could feel very similar to tree in that the foot is at the inner thigh, the knee's going to the ceiling. Trying to creep this leg up so that I can grab my foot with my belt or with my hand. And then that knee is still turning away from me, going towards the ceiling as much as I can get it to do. My foot is not pressing into the wall as well as I want it to, so I'm pressing my bottom leg down. Whoa! And I can feel that I want to fall over. This is a pose that I always feel I want to fall over. So what I'm doing to stop myself falling over is I'm gripping my tailbone in as strongly as I can, and I'm trying to press the lower side of my body down as strongly as I can. Stretch of the leg is no problem to me, but not falling over is a huge problem. Lots of people never fall over. I usually always fall over. Bottom leg really firm, top leg drawn towards you, go for your maximum stretch. Can you grab the foot? Oh, without falling over, and give yourself a really good stretch. And then, before you do the second side, rest on your tummy. And I'll go, and then you would turn the other way. I'll go this way. Try not to fall over again. So get yourself close into the wall. So don't lie on the same side twice. Again, something I might do. Elbow extending away, feet are pressing into the wall. This foot is coming up that leg. Have your belt near. Do not fall over. Ooh, one side. Ah. Don't catch your ribs like I did there. So this knee, don't want it to go in the way, want it to go up to the ceiling. It's opening. Think of tree pose. If you were doing tree pose, how you'd be doing your tree pose. Walking the foot as close as you can. So as I bring the knee up, I'm not letting it come forwards. I'm trying not to let it come forwards. And this is why if I was using a wall behind me, it would be better for alignment, if you find the alignment difficult. The bottom leg is stretching down. This leg is coming up. Whoa. And I'm trying not to fall. Press down with that bottom leg. And stretch. Don't let your head come forwards. Now I'm coming lower down because I thought I was maybe letting my shoulders come out of line. So I've come lower down. And it is nice if you can balance on the side like this. It is very nice. Pull up the kneecap. Press the bottom leg down. Don't bring tension into your neck. Don't stop breathing. Stretch. Try and find a bit of peacefulness in this one, which is hard. And go for your maximum stretch. And I know some of you can reach your big toes. Some of you also, it sounds good to go for the inner heel if you're not going to fall over, because it helps you push the foot back in alignment rather than bring it over your, I don't want it to come here. I want it to be back here. Oh, and then lie down on your front. You're going to come into head down dog, but this could be cat instead, okay? So your hands at the sides of your body. Push up, elbows are in. Head up dog, try not to walk your feet in. And my back feels it needs a little bit of a back bend sometimes after that, so this action could be quite nice after that. Pulling the shoulder blades in, a little bit of that if you wish. And lengthen out your back. Scooping yourself forwards. Coming back up and walking into Uttanasana. And let yourself hang. Then sit down on your mat and we'll do a little bit more of our hip work, but sitting down hip work. Do sit on height if you need. I'll show you what we're doing, then you can decide. We'll be doing a bit of Baddha Konasana, a little bit of this wide leg stretch. Oops, can you see my legs? Yeah, I think you can. And a bit of coming into this one, into a twist. I often use blankets in my own practice because, as I said before, they they seem to mould well to your particular shape, and they're not too high. So for this, because we're doing Baddha Konasana and the wide leg stretch, and we're opening up the hips, not holding things too long, I'm going to use a little bit of height rather than sitting flat. So I want to make sure that my back is long enough and I'm not letting my pelvis collapse and my back collapse. So I will sit in a wee bit of height, being my blanket. I'll move back a little bit here. Here's my blanket. I need room for my legs. Sitting briefly into a Baddha Konasana. Pressing the soles of my feet together, lifting up. You could be higher if you wish. Knees descending down. Then, and we're not going to hold any of this too long. You can again do this longer in your own practice. This is warming up stuff for our hips still. Push my feet in, press my thighs down. This is opening up the hips and the pelvis, but I'm also gathering in my hips, because from here I'm pushing from my outer knee to my hip socket, so I'm pressing, and that's giving me the grip in my hip muscles. And some people really need to work on that, and they'll know who they are. I've mentioned in the class that some people are they can over open, and if you open too much without getting the grip in, you can get sore hips. So work on really gripping in, if that's what you need to do, or really opening out, if that's what you need to do. But we're not staying too long, because we're going to stretch the legs out, and we're going to bring in our left leg. So wide legs, bring in your left leg and turn to the right. So turn towards your right leg, pressing against that leg, nice open twist. Leg is descending down, turning your tummy, breathing normally. I'm not staying long, as I say. Straight arm, straight knee, you're turning. You come back to the centre, Baddha Konasana. Pressing down, lifting up, quiet face, normal breathing. Trying to let both thighs go down evenly. Send your legs out. They're pressing down. This being a soft surface and not a brick, it's easier for me to let the backs of the legs descend. If I was on a brick or a half brick, there'd definitely be a hardness cutting into my thighs in this one. So it feels comfy. This leg's coming in, which is your right leg, and you turn towards your left leg. Straight wrist, turn your chest, turn your body. Quiet eyes, quiet face. As you press down. Back to the centre. Go into your wide leg stretch this time first. Uttanasana Konasana. You could have a belt or two belts if you wish. So if you've got your long belts, mine's over there, but a long belt could be around both feet in between here, and you could pull like that, which feels good as well. Helps you give the feeling of your legs stretching out towards the belt, but also pulling back towards your hips. So you could do this. And then we're going to come into the pose again, going for catching if you can. So this leg's come in, you can lift up and go towards this other leg. Just make yourself stretch, get yourself as low down as you can. Belt could be around the back of the hips. You're seeing, can I grab that belt? Well, that doesn't work. It'd have to be around here, I think, wouldn't it? Of course, it's around that there. So here we go. My arms are going round, and if I was trying to use my belt, I'd grab the belt and I'd pull it back like that. And that feels quite good because it's opening my chest. If you can catch, your hands come together. You can see that mine are around there. And I'm pulling down. Pressing into the bottom leg, pressing into the foot. Allow my spine to lengthen out of this. Quiet face, quiet eyes. And then I come back to the centre, widen out those legs. You could stretch up for a change of action, working your shoulders, arms extending. We're not doing much shoulder work today, as you'll notice. I haven't really done anything hardly because we're focusing on our hip opening. Arms come down, bring this leg in, turn towards that leg, so exaggerate. You can come over on this foot, just really exaggerate how far can you get yourself across. The belt was behind us here. We're using the belt, and I had it double actually, which felt good. But you mostly try to get as low down as you can. Then eventually that knee will have to go back up, but just now I've got it quite low down so I can get it near my shoulder blade. My arms are going back and I'm looking for that belt. Where is that belt? The belt's there. And maybe I could be, oh, I can pull myself up. Like, can I work my hands closer? Can I work my hands closer? Yes. And be in the twist. Bottom leg pressing down, pressing into your foot, knee facing up towards the ceiling. A nice open twist. Back to the centre. A little bit more of our hip work. I can just see my feet there. We're not, okay, so what we've got, this leg's bent, we're not really needing that leg straight. This leg is going away. So you're going to do a bit of this action. Can you pull your foot towards you and back? And this is working the hips. This leg could be down on the floor. Okay, so I'm here and here. A little bit of action. Or I could be doing it like this. Coming in, pushing out, coming in, pushing out, coming in, pushing out. So I'm trying to work my hips. Pushing out. A little bit of that action. That leg goes down. It does work better with the bottom leg straight because it gives you something to press against. Okay, so here I am again. Work my hip. How does it work? Back it comes and back it comes. Back it comes. And then bring in your left leg. So we're here. Bring your left leg well in towards you. So your right leg, and turn to the right. In a twisting action. Feeling this hip. I want to feel that outer hip working. So squeeze the leg in. Don't go for go for this. Squeeze that leg in. Press your shoulder blades in. Quiet face. Turn, turn, and turn, and turn. Back to the centre. This leg is the one that's coming back, coming well back. Foot coming down. And turn towards the other side. Squeeze that leg in. Draw yourself round. Press down to the bottom leg. Look over your shoulder. Quiet face. Breathing normally. And turn. Activate the legs. I'm really pressing down now. I wasn't activating it enough. Back to the centre. We're then going to go Sukhasana. A choice here. So Sukhasana, not with our feet so far back, but going for our feet further away from us so that our shin bone is further away from us and coming forwards. Firstly, we'll do this to the wall, and I would suggest having your blanket under your feet, and you can sit on more height. So first of all, we'll do this to our wall. This one probably. And then some of you will have the alternative of going forwards not to a wall. So here I am, and I could be sitting on height, I could be sitting on 2 bricks, I could be sitting high up like this, because we're going to have our shin bones not so close to us, and we're stretching to a wall. Trying to press my shoulder blades in, so I could be here, and this is me working those hips again, or I could be lower down, if I don't need support from my back. So you're stretching, arms extending. And see if you can stay for a few breaths. Feeling that stretch in your outer hips. Quiet face. You should start to feel something easing, so you could go a little bit further in, but this front shin bone is much parallel to that wall as you can get it. Come up and turn. Twist is a counter pose to us going forwards. For anyone who feels, oh, it's hard on my back, twist, then that gets everything gripping back in again. Turn to the other side. Face forwards again. This leg is in front. And I'm trying to keep that shin bone away from me rather than pulling it close. Buttock bones, release the flesh if you need to. going forwards, but I'm not going forwards like this, lengthening out as much as I can to go forwards. You want to feel that you've got length on your lower back to your buttock bones, length on the front of your abdomen, length on the sides, the outer hip area as you stretch. Lifting out of the pelvis. Quiet eyes, quiet face. Normal breathing. Being in the stretch. Come back to the centre and turn to the left and turn to the right. It is good to repeat things. You do that one again, or we're coming forwards to work our hips before we do a stronger one. So coming forwards, you could work on, people who are more experienced, on this pose, one foot on top of knee, one knee on top of foot. Okay, so you could be working this one, extending forwards. Or you could be going to the wall, or you could be here. You can choose which one you want to do, extending forwards. Again. And I'm using the bricks there. Keep stretching, just moving myself back a bit. You don't have to use the bricks. Working at what works for you. You come up. You can obviously always stay longer in your own practice. So this would be here, or I'm at the wall again, or it is left foot, or reversing, right foot on left knee on right foot. So you get a stronger stretch in these big outer hip muscles. On this side I'll do it this way to show you that, and then stretching forwards quietly. Allowing your hips to release. These big muscles on the outer hips releasing down. Extending yourself away. Come up. With these hip ones, the longer you stay in them, and you can do your twist as well after if you wish, the longer you stay in them, the more they start to release. So now we're going to do a little bit of work with the radiator, or this could be a chair. I'll show you with a chair as well. Just get a chair. The chair up against the wall, or we can use the radiator, which I'll show you too. And bolster is here. If you come regularly, will know that we do these ones quite often. Quite useful having a wall there, but what I'm trying to do is the shin bone is parallel to the wall. Ooh, and this chair is a little bit wobbly. So my shin bone is parallel to that wall, and you can do various things in it. You can stretch your arms up, Bow your ears and be here. You can bring your arms in and stretch upwards, or you can lean in a little bit more towards the back of the chair. I would need to be a bit further away from the wall actually, I think, to be a bit more comfy. So I feel more stretched when I come forwards. It could be like this. I think my chair's fallen to bits. I need some glue. I can feel it's moving. So this one. And stay. And you can change, you can stay, you can change, do it a few times. I'll do it once more at this height, and then I'll go to a higher height. So my shin bone again, parallel to the wall, upward stretch. Feels nice. Legs lowering down away from me, and I'm stretching up. Could go forwards and feel that action. Sorry, don't let your bolster slide off the chair. Lots of that height, then building it up. Going further, more height, stronger stretch. This is much higher, but you could go for a grade in between. Blanket on radiator. Sorry if you're not seeing the top of my head totally. Foot is on the height, and my shin bone is here, parallel to the wall. And now I feel more stretch from me. This leg is wanting to drop forwards. And that does give me a good stretch in my hips. If I press it back, it gives me slightly more openness in the hips. So I'm going to press back and enjoy this one. If I didn't have those paintings in the way, I might stretch up the wall more. Like I can stretch a wee bit. So that feels quite good as well, extending my arms up the wall. But I'm still trying to press this leg back, this straight leg. I'm trying not to let it drop forwards, because if it drops forwards, then I don't feel as much stretch. This feels great. As I extend and I come back. Want to keep practicing a lot. Going for your height again. Oops, I'm falling off the radiator now. So I'm not letting that leg fall forwards. This leg is parallel. We'll have to walk over here. So this leg, that action, so I'm trying to press back so I know that this leg is straight, not collapsing it. And therefore the emphasis is on the shin bone and this hip. You want to feel that this big hip muscle is getting a stretch. I'm not feeling my knee at all, and you shouldn't be feeling it in your knees. If you are, then you probably should go lower. Start a little bit lower, as we showed with the chair. So I'm keeping this leg pressing back as I stretch forwards, enjoying that stretch. And this is our pigeon pose, which we'll also do in a moment as our finalising of our practice today almost. And we come away from there, do more if you wish. From there we're going to do tree pose with our backs against a bit of wall. So tree, coming back here, using your buttock bones supported. Adho Mukha Svanasana, that's rubbish. Vrikshasana, tree pose, gathering in the hip, buttock bones supported, stretch up, because we're going to do tree two as well. Abdomen back as you stretch, knee opening out to the side as you extend in your Vrikshasana. And you can come to your balance. Arms come down, foot goes down, legs are back together, but be against the wall if you wish. The wall helps you know if your buttock bones are staying in alignment. So I'm trying to keep both buttock bones on the wall. This leg is pressing back. These arms are going up. Oops, not hitting things. Stretch. So you can see this is open pelvis. This leg is gripping in. The foot is hopefully staying there. I could go side on the wall if I was falling. And you can bring the weight over. And when you bring the weight onto your foot, it normally helps you align better. Get a better stretch. Arms come down. From there, you could see hips a little bit away from the wall. Can I go for my foot on my thigh? And actually I could have something in front for people who want to go a bit further. So be a little bit further away from the wall. Vrikshasana 2, foot is coming into half lotus. Knee is going down, arms can stretch up, buttock bones can be back against the wall. So this is the first stage. Stay there. Those of you who wish to go further into a pose called Ardha Padma Padottanasana. This is coming forwards in this pose. And I'm only showing this for, I know that some people would like to try this and will be able to do it. And this hand tucks around towards your foot. Knee goes down, head goes down. And you balance. You come very careful. So I've got the wall that I can push against. And if you're scared about coming up with your foot in that position, lean forwards, carefully release your foot. We can all, after that one Vrikshasana, do Uttanasana, and we'll do the other side. Press on our feet, open out. So I'm showing you this as something that you may work towards one day. The foot's coming up the leg. Half lotus in tree, Vrikshasana 2. It does give you a nice grip in your hips. You can stay here. You can stretch up. Butt to hips against the wall. Coming forwards, I would suggest have the wall behind you. You want this foot to stay as high up as you can. Have something to lean towards until you know that you're not going to fall over. And then, buttock bones are staying as even as possible. One hand comes round towards your foot and you let yourself descend down. You can come more upright, or you can stay here, stretching out, looking forwards. To come up, you can come up with your foot there. I actually haven't got room, we're going to hit the wall, so you can come up from here, but you need a little bit more space behind you. Knee comes down. Everyone after a tree pose, Uttanasana, wide legs, and hang. Really press those feet out as far as you want them to go. Allow your arms to descend. Press on your feet. Last bit of our hip work before we rest down. Oops, move the chair. Sorry about that. Half pigeon pose. So this is a lying forwards pose, which is very nice. Have enough equipment around you. I'm going to put my blanket down because I want my knee to be supported as I come forwards. So that same position, I'm going to be coming forwards. Kneel up first of all like this, and think of this foot going across, so do that action. So kneel up and do that action. Foot is coming across, really in line with the knee, I suppose, when we're in the full pose. This knee's going out to the side. So when I'm lying forwards, I'm going to be lying forwards over that leg. This knee comes back. Let's just bring this foot forwards. You don't, so I'm just using the wall because it's there, I suppose. Yeah, no, it's quite nice having the wall. So my foot is forwards, shin bone is coming forwards, foot and knee are coming towards alignment. That's what we're doing lying down in half pigeon. Bolsters could be used. I'll show you the full pose and then you can go into it. Half pigeon, we're here. Right knee goes forwards, have space to stretch out, sorry, and have your bolster ready. Everything near that you might need. This position, right knee goes forwards, right foot goes across to the right. I was almost going to say the left foot, right knee and the left foot. Shin bone, you're trying to get it parallel to that wall, but at first it's not. The heel is back further. So I'm like this, and then you walk back as far as you can and stretch forward in your pigeon pose. Now my back foot's pushing into the wall, which is actually quite nice. Here, I could have something for my abdomen. I could have something here, so that I'm going like that. That leg's strong, but it could be going like that. We will go into this a little bit more, maybe one week, and I'm stretching. Or I could have something here. If my hips are moving a lot, I could have height there, and I could have my bolster here. and I can have much more height. So like that. Staying, if you're in it, lengthening forwards. On the second side, I'll show you it front on. Bottom bone's pressed down, back leg is pressing back towards the wall, you're extending yourself forwards with your body. So you're lengthening out the abdomen, allowing yourself to rest. Do stay longer if you need to. I'll show you this forwards on the other side. So you come up, swapping sides, having your equipment near. This front leg is the one that is parallel to the front of the mat. You can just see it. And the back leg, so I'm here, like that, crouching position, left foot knee forwards, left foot goes across to the right, and then that position, then you can walk back. So you've got your wall behind you. This leg is forwards, the other leg is going back. This hip is going down. And in order for it to go down, for some people, it means that you have to put height here on that hip. So that, for some people, is far enough. One leg going straight back, hips are even, break there. Going further from there, you could have your bolster, have it this way, it's nice, like I was showing when we're side on, or if you can get lower, and you probably wouldn't have as much height as that, the bolster could be in front of you, you're still trying to get this shin bone forwards, this leg down, your bolster could be in front of you. At the abdomen is very nice, and let your abdomen rest on it. It could be like this. For me, it's too much to have something there. But being in your pigeon on the other side. Opposed to stay in, practice more than once. We won't today. Then we're going to do a sitting twist. You've got your blanket still, and we're there after that going to rest down for our well-earned Shavasana. And the sun is out. Sitting twist, having height. I've folded up my blanket. We're going to do one which works our hips. So I've got a bit of height here, my buttock bones are being supported. Come slightly to the front of this. Feet extending away, but I know you can't see them properly, but we're going to be changing this position. Some of you will do the left leg slightly displaced, the right foot comes over, and you're doing this twist to the right. So it's a straight bottom leg, bent top leg, foot coming across, so this hip is worked. Others will bend their left leg into a half cross leg, and the right leg comes over. Same areas getting that stretch. So whichever of those two you can work on. Foot presses down, the whole of the foot, and you turn towards your right. Straight wrist, no tea trays, as we turn. Shoulders down. Quiet eyes. Long on your abdomen. Back to the centre, and you reverse. That would be your right leg straight, your left foot coming across. I've forgotten which leg I'm doing anyway. This is okay. So that is your right leg. This is your left leg. So this is you in the more open version, less strong on your knees. Going for the stronger version, the right leg bends under, the left foot goes over. I do need that to turn my foot and return. Quiet. Once you're in there, be quiet. Back to the centre. Getting ready for our Shavasana. Thank you for your practice again today. Wishing everyone well until I see you next time. And I will leave you in your relaxation. Because you've been working your hips, it might be quite nice to use height and start in a Sukhasana. So I've crossed my ankles, got them on my bolster. This could be on a pile of blankets, or it could be lying flat. But I'm going to start like this for a change of how to go into Shavasana. Having room to stretch your legs, which I'm not going to have, but I'm not going into that, but you can. So I've got my shin bones on the bolster, my buttock bones are on the floor. This could be a pile of books or with the blankets over them, anything that's a little bit higher. The height helps you come back towards this area of your back and pelvis. And this is in here, resting there, quiet pelvis, peaceful head. Let's bring our elbows down, fingertips to the ceiling before we bring our arms out to the side. And then be in your Shavasana. Remembering that at some point you change the cross of the legs. So allow your head to relax, your eyes to quieten. Allowing thoughts to pass. Our next class will be one focusing on supportive, restive postures. But being in your Shavasana, staying peacefully, allowing thoughts to go. Good in breaths and good out breaths. Namaste.